Hey pals, and welcome back to Sewing from Scratch. I am Kate, and this is where I teach you everything I know about sewing, and we learn more together along the way. Today is episode number 6 in our bra sewing series. We are so close to making an actual bra to wear. In this video, we are going to be doing a tester or a muslin, getting the fit exactly right without using up all of our pretty materials, so that when it does come time to cut into those materials, we can be confident that it's going to fit us and it's not going to be a waste. So a few things I want to mention about the process of doing a tester bra and kind of why I'm doing this before we actually do the sew along, because you might be thinking, okay, sure, we can make a tester, but I don't know how to sew a bra. Let's just address that, okay? Basically, the reason we're doing the tester before it actually, and I'm not taking you through step by step. Number 1, because we're not all doing the same sewing pattern. Number 2, because I want you to get familiar and learn it your own way first, so that when it does come time to do the actual sewing, you're comfortable with your pattern and the instructions and all the things. But also, if we are doing the same bra and we're doing the steps together, that if something was tricky for you, then you're able to see it done through and you can have your version in the back of your mind as reference, if that makes sense. So that's why we're doing the tester before, and I'm not taking you through all the steps of a specific pattern. I'm going to take you through the steps of doing a tester, but it will apply to pretty much every pattern. Now, the way that I'm doing my test bra is the way that I learned from Deb from Sew YYC. So this whole process will be linked below, and her Instagram highlight will be linked here for you to check it out if you need even more guidance or just a different perspective or that kind of thing. She is much more of an expert. I am not an expert. So she is an expert on bra making. Like I said, I will leave her information and this highlight and everything down below so you can see where I learned it from. But basically what we're doing is we're making the bra, but we're making it so that we can put different cups into the frame. So normally when we would sew a bra, we sew the cups into the frame and then we take that seam allowance and hide it with our underwire channeling. We are not going to be doing that. That's kind of the main difference. And then obviously we can skimp on other parts elastics, and certain things don't need to be done perfectly. We don't need to be doing, for example, triple zigzag stitch instead of just a regular zigzag stitch. We can kind of skimp out on the extra reinforcements and things like that. So the goal is to get it done fast, but also to get the fit done right. So we do want to continue to maintain seam allowances, very, very important, especially for fit testing. We also want to maintain the integrity of the bra. So we wanted to be able to put it on our bodies and not have it just fall apart, because we do need to be able to test it. You're going to see a couple different iterations, I guess, of test bras. I'm going to show you kind of what works or what I've done in the past, and hopefully that gives you some insight into your own test bra. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bra and you're going to follow the instructions in the pattern. So you can follow this tutorial for any bra pattern that you're doing. I think. I can't see why the basic principles would really change if you were doing a partial band bra. It should be the same as a full band bra like mine. Again, this is the Ruby pattern from Pinup Girls. I can have it linked below for you guys. I've gone through all of this already in the series, so if you're interested in materials and patterns and how to find your size and wires and all those things, that is in the playlist. So I have that linked below. Easy for you to check out. Follow this tutorial, but also if you need to check seam allowance or I don't know, how something in the cup is constructed, you're going to want to refer to the instructions to your specific pattern. The general construction and all of that can be taken from this. Okay, so when I made my very first bra, the one that I've been showing you this whole time, I did do a tester for that one. Now, if you've been following, you know that bra was too small. I did do a tester. It was this one. So what I did on this one, it did have a hook and eye. I have since taken it off. So this one, I followed the same way we're going to be doing here. My mistake with this was, number 1, I didn't have straps. So I wasn't able to actually have it up. I was just holding it up, and I think I was holding it obviously too tight to really tell. I want to say that this tester also was bigger, the band was bigger. So then when I made my real one, I went down a size in the band, and that probably you know, that would have affected the cups a little bit, but basically the cup is too small. In the end, it's actually 2 sizes too small, which we're going to, you know, learn about. So this was a 4.25 and I constructed it in the way that I'm going to show you, but I kind of just am telling you this so that you know that it's important to kind of get as close to a finished product as you're willing to, or as you can, because that's going to give you the best fit test. So from this, then I made that bra that doesn't fit, and then now I'm ready to make my next tester bra. So I'm gonna take you down to the table and we're gonna look at how to make a muslin fit test bra. Okay, so this is the Ruby bra pattern. It comes with, if you're doing foam cups, you would use this. This is for smaller band sizes. I am going to be, smaller BCD sizes. I'm going to be using one of the mid to larger sizes. So previously I did the 4.25. I think I'm gonna bump up to the 4.5 cup, and I'll show you how that works here. So what we need to cut out is our front frame, and this will be on this pattern dependent on your BCD size. Other patterns, I can't speak if they have different front frames for every different cup size. That might not be the case, but that is how this pattern works. So I'm going to cut out this front frame piece. Then for the back band, I'm going to be doing the 4.5 back band, and then you go by your rib cage size. And in the Sew YYC description demonstration, she says to cut one size smaller, so you can go ahead and do that. Make it one size smaller, and then I'll show you how we decide how much we need to add. I am going to do that. I'm going to do the 34. So I'm going to do the 4.5 height line and then the 34 here. Now, to keep this intact, because I don't want to, you know, if I cut this out and then end up needing a bigger size down the road, or even a smaller size, I don't want to be losing this pattern piece, because this is the only one I have. This is not a PDF pattern. So I'm going to be tracing that out. And you want to make absolutely triple sure that you are marking in all of your distinguishing letters, your direction of stretch, and your notches. These are going to become very, very, very important. And then our fabric cups, our pieces are here. So I'm going to obviously cut out my size, 4.5. In each of these, again, I'm going to be tracing. So you need the 3 lower cup pieces and then the 1 upper cup piece. So I'm going to go ahead and trace and cut those all out, and then we will start the construction. Okay, so I have all my pieces cut. For the front frame, I used muslin fabric. We do not want this to stretch. It needs to be very stable. So I used 1 piece of muslin going with the grain line going this way, and then I actually doubled it up and made the second piece with the grain line going that way. So now it will really have no stretch. You could also use duoplex if you have, but this is something we all kind of have on hand, is some scrap woven cotton. Then for the back band, I used power net. Now I realize we might not all have this. If you do have this, it's the best to use if you have your kit in already, or you've purchased your fabric. There is usually enough in a kit to get like 3 or 4 back band pieces out of, 3 or 4 bras worth, I mean. So that's what I use there. If you don't have that, then you can use a really good like athletic knit or something similar to that. And then for the cups, I used duoplex because this is what I had. So if you don't have duoplex or bra tool or any bra making cup supplies, you could use something more stable, maybe like even a cotton woven would be fine in your cups as well. We just want to make sure we're getting the right volume and volume displacement with the cups. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to treat these kind of as one. So they should be pretty similar. And what we're going to do first is we're going to take this and we're going to fold it over by 1/4 inch and stitch it down. Then we're going to take our back band pieces and attach them to the sides, right sides together. So they'll be, you know, we'll sew them like that, right sides together. Then we will flip them out and tuck the seam allowance towards the front and top stitch it down on the front frame piece. Then I will come back and we will do the next step. Okay, so that is done. I also stitched in some stay stitching here, 1/4 inch from the edge. Very important to keep our seam allowances as accurate as possible throughout bra making. So I did that. That's going to come in handy later when we attach our underwire channeling and our cups. Now we're going to add elastics, and this is arguably not necessary. We're definitely going to add along the bottom, but along the top, I recommend it, but you could get away without it. So I'm going to take, and we can use just like regular elastic for this, or if you have picot elastic, it's going to be more accurate to the final fit. So for the ruby bra, we're going to use 1/2 inch elastic along the bottom, and then we're going to use 3/8 along the top. And if you don't have enough to go the entire length, then what we're going to do is we're going to piece together. And Deb from Sew YYC has a really good demonstration of this, I guess. So it's in her story highlights. I will leave more information on how to find that in the description box below. So for right now, we are going to stitch right sides together. Now, if you are using picot elastic, we want the soft side to be up. So when it flips under, that's going to be against our skin. So we're going to have it right sides together. We are going to do a zigzag stitch all the way along, giving this just a little bit of tension as we stitch. Leave a little bit hanging off the end because it's better to have too much there than try and be right at the edge. And we're going to try and stitch close to those picots so that when it flips under, only the little scallops are going to show. If you're using regular elastic, same kind of thing. Just try and stitch close to that edge and just give it some tension as you sew. And then we'll repeat that with both top bands there. Okay, we have first pass elastic done. So I just wanted to show you this. So you want, again, the raw edge of the bottom of your bra lined up with the one edge of the elastic, and then we're going to stitch on the opposite edge. So closer to the picots if you're using picot elastic, or if you're using regular elastic, just close to that edge, giving it a little bit of tension, and repeat with the top band. You can see I got a little bit too tight here. This for our practice bra doesn't really make much difference in most cases. So now we are going to flip this under and we are going to top stitch. Now when we do our real bra, we're going to do a triple step top stitch zigzag, but for this we're just going to use a regular zigzag just to make things go faster. Another thing is you can clip into your bridge at this point where it curves up if you have that, and that'll just help it to lay flat when it's turned under, because it does have that curve in it. So I'll just help it to spread a bit there. So now we're going to do that. We're just going to flip them under and top stitch on all three places here. We now have our elastics in place. If you did leave some excess on the ends, just go ahead and true that up so that it lines up neatly. Now we are going to add our elastics to the underarm strap area. But before we do that, we want to see how big this is to accommodate our hook and eye. So you can see here that it's quite a difference. The hook and eye is quite a bit bigger, and it does open up and we stick our band in there, but there's still room there. So all that means we have to do is, if your band is bigger, we just trim some away. If it's smaller like this, we'll want to adapt the pattern, because this pattern was meant, it looks like, for a 2 high hook and eye, and the ruby pattern does in fact say that up to the 4.5 BCD it will be a 2 high hook and eye. So once you get to 4.75, then it goes up to the 3 high. So I will be adjusting my pattern piece to accommodate that, just so I don't have to make adjustments, you know, after the fact. So I'll just want to add a little bit to my pattern piece here. And if I line this up, and I know I need to gain about a 1/4 inch there. So I'm just going to add 1/4 inch, and I will piece in a little piece of paper here, and I'll just keep this the same, just coming out to about a 1/4 inch more there. So we can line our hook and eye up here, and we can see that we need it up to this point. That's where our hook and eye needs to come to. So again, I can line up my raw edges here that I know haven't changed, add it here because I need to add a 1/4 inch all the way to that point, and then I can go back to the regular width. For our practice one, I'm not going to do anything about it. I could cut away so that this comes in closer, but then our band gets smaller. I don't want to do that. So now we can add our elastic here, and normally this would be your strap would come on here, but because we are doing something different with our straps, we're just going to use some regular elastic. So if this was the strap elastic, it would just get top stitched on here, about like that. So that's all we're going to do. We're just going to top stitch this on, and because we're not making an actual strap, we're just going to loop this around to make kind of a loop to be able to add some false straps. Now, Deb, when she did this in her demonstration, she's using old bra straps from a strapless bra that you can remove, so they have those hooks on them that clip in. We don't necessarily have that, but we are still going to make these loops so that we can use, you know, even just ribbon or something to hold this up onto our bodies. So I'm going to sew this on here and make a little loop there as I'm sewing, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so you can see I just did this little loop here that we will then be able to add a fake strap into. So now we're going to add the hook and eye. This is a previous test bra I've made, and I am going to just rip this off and then use that. If you don't have like an extra one, you don't have an old bra you can steal from, or you know, things like that, you can use your good one. We're just going to be basting, so just do a loose basting stitch, and I mean, you want it to be secure that we can still fit, but you will be able to remove it after and reuse it. So that's what I'm going to do here. Again, thrift stores are a really great place to find stuff like this, or even just like your bargain shop. A $5 bra, you can get a lot of pieces out of that to do fit testing, or even for real bras if you want to use hook and eyes and rings and sliders and that kinds of things. A $5 bra from the bargain shop works great. Now you can look at a ready to wear bra if you aren't sure which side the clasp goes on or which side your preference is. So I'm going to put the hooks on the left side when worn. So that's actually this side. We want to make sure that we're putting this the right way. So the opening here goes like this. Again, it's not going to fit perfectly because we need to adapt our pattern. So we're just going to baste that on there. And then on the opposite side is where we do the hooks. Again, making sure you get it the orientation right. So the hooks should be on the back. We'll baste those on, and then we're almost ready to work on the cups. Okay, so we have that done. The hooks can be tricky to add on, so you might want to use a zipper foot or just move your needle all the way over to the right or something to get that done nicely. Now we are going to stitch in underwire channeling. So we are actually not going to be using underwire channeling because it is so bulky. We're going to use regular single fold bias tape of the 1/2 inch variety. So this is actually double fold, but I'm going to open it up. What we're going to do is we're going to place it along that stay stitching we did. We'll just go right up to that, stitch along this edge, securing that inside edge all the way up, and then we'll come back and do the other edge. So it'll make a channel for us to slide the wires into. Underwire channeling is in. Leave some at the top here, and we were going to fold that over so our wires don't come through the center there. So for the purpose of this, you can do however you want. I'm going to fold it over the front and just secure it there. And you want to have that down, sewn down further than, you know, maybe like a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch, because you don't want the wires coming right up to the top. That's just going to add that extra protection there. Okay, so our band is done. Our frame is done. Now we can slide wires in and we can actually fit this to our bodies without the cups in. If you're trying out a new band or whatever, we can put this on our bodies using this. Now, the reason Deb from Sew YYC says to go with a band size smaller is because it makes it easier to find where you need the extra room. So we put this on our bodies on the loosest hook, if we can get it up. If we can't, then we add in bra extenders. I don't have any, but I can, you know, get my husband to help me and just measure how much I need there. Then I can adjust that. And we can also see on the sides if this is hitting us in the right spot. Maybe this is where we need to add the length here instead of at the back. Maybe we need this to be coming further towards the side of our body. So that is going to help us determine the fit of that. Then we can take our wires. Remember, we bought 3 different size wires, slide them in here, try them on, and see which one is going to fit best right at the root of your breast. So I'm going to do that now, decide which wire I'm going to use, and then we will work on the cups. So I have tried all 3 wires. I've kind of narrowed it down to 44 and 46. This is not like a true, like trying it on without the cups in, without the straps. It's not great. We're still going to do that, you know, coming up. It was just something I wanted to try. I did determine that I'm actually going to size down on the band. So it fit best when it was on the tightest setting. And that's not really how we want to be fitting our bras. We want it to be on the loosest, so that's as it wears and stretches, we can tighten it. So I'm going to size down on the band. So I'll still have to do the adjustment for the 3 hook there. And I think that's all I had to say about that. I also went ahead and sewed up the cups. I definitely did not make 2 right cups by accident. This was so that I could, you know, put one this way and show you the seam allowances, right? That's exactly what I planned. It was totally planned, not on accident at all. Now we can sew in our cups. So we're going to work along the bottom. I mean, you could just do 1 cup here too, but we're gonna do both. So we are going to, of course, match up our notches, stitch this along on that stay stitching line, and do the same with this cup, and then we can add some elastic to the arm to do the straps. Okay, I have my cup sewn in, and I did just want to acknowledge that you might have trouble with your cups, or you might, you know, not have your head wrapped around it, that they're not actually going to be exactly accurate because we've already folded this part over. Normally we would put the cup in and then we'd run the elastic all the way up here. So I mean, it's not exact, but this way allows us to remove these cups and then add in different cups. So that's why we're doing it this way. Don't get too caught up on, you know, the little bit excess here or not excess. We're mostly working on the volume, and to figure out exact fit, you would have to make an exact bra. So now that we have the cups in, we are pretty much ready to fit. We are gonna run a little bit of elastic here and make another loop so we can attach our strap. And that's it. We're not finishing the edge of this. We're not doing any of the extra fancy finishes. We're just gonna add that little bit of elastic there so we can put a strap on, pop the wires in, try this on, and see how the cups work for our bodies. So I have a couple pieces of elastic here that I'm just gonna stitch on, and again, make a loop here to stick my straps on after. We're gonna do it the same way we did this back one here. So now we have this constructed, and the beauty of this is now we can take these cups out and we can put them on another band, or we could take these cups out and put different cups in here to fit this if we know this band fits. So that's the beauty of this, is we can fit the cups, take them out, adjust the cups, and it just means a little bit of seam ripping on the bottom. So now I'm taking some bra straps from a bra I got at the bargain shop, and I'm just going to kind of figure out a way to like attach them in here. It might be safety pins, I might actually stitch it. It doesn't really matter at this point. We just need some way to hold this up onto our bodies. So once you do that on there and on the back, you have your 2 straps, 2 ways to secure it on top of your body. You can then check it out, look in the mirror, see what you need to adjust, and go ahead and do that. So like I said, this was the 4.5. This, when I tried it on, it was still a little bit not right. I wasn't totally happy with it. The wires were great. The band was too big. I need to go down a band size. I thought the center gore was quite wide, so it wasn't sitting nice in my center front at my sternum. I like it to sit flat against my chest. That is how I was taught is a good fitting bra. So after talking to the Facebook group, it was decided that yes, I should try and alter the center of the gore. Easy adjustment, that's fine. But the cup was still just like a smidge small. Like I could stand to try the next size up. So I made a second one. This one, I did alter the center gore. I ended up taking out, I think about 1/2 inch total from the entire center front. So I just folded where it's on the fold. I just folded that little piece over 1/4 inch, and then that would account for 1/2 inch once it's opened up, right? And then I went up a cup size, so 4.75, and I also did the same frame to fit the cup. This one I did use bra strap because I harvested off of that bra that didn't fit, which was kind of heartbreaking. I really struggled with that, but then I thought, why am I keeping this? It doesn't make me feel good about myself. If I ever do fit into this, it won't be for a long time, and by that point I can just make another one, and I can use the parts from that one now to make bras that fit me now. So it was hard, but I did harvest some pieces from it, like the hook and eye and the straps and the wires, and there's some other pieces I could probably harvest as well. So 4.75, this is now 2 sizes up from my original bra. It makes the band quite a bit wider, which I don't love, but I am going to be using some wider elastic, so I think that will kind of help it not be so wide on the sides. And then as long as I get the fit right, I think going forward that's something that I can easily alter. So like I said, I altered that center gore. Now when I tried this one on, the center, it was better, but it still wasn't great, and now I think the center gore is too narrow. So for my final bra, I'm not gonna make another tester with the frame larger. I mean, I totally could, and it's not hard to just go in and make a new frame, use the same cups, the same everything else. But guys, I'm not practicing what I preach here. I definitely should, but I'm confident that it's going to be a fairly good fit. So I'm just gonna go with it. And at this point, I'm confident that it's going to be the best fit that I've had so far. And something that Deb has mentioned to me and that is really helpful and been really helpful in her practice is something called wash away thread. So it's meant for testing, for muslins. So you stitch normally with this thread, everything works good, but then when you want to change something, maybe you want to take the pieces apart and make a new frame, all you have to do is soak it in water and it falls apart. All the stitches come out. I mean, like, so handy. I don't have any, otherwise I'd probably be making a new frame, but just something to keep in mind. I will put it in my Amazon favorites shop if I can find it there for you to check out. So I have learned that I'm going to leave the bridge the same. I'm going to leave everything the same. I'm just going to do a regular 4.75 bra, and then the elastic I have for the bottom band is wider, so that will bring it up shorter in the sides here. You can see it's so tall, which is nice. Like, it feels nice and it gives good support, but it's not what I would choose to wear for aesthetics, but this is meant to be like an everyday bra, so I'm not too worried about that. So now that I have my fit test bra done, I can go ahead and do the real deal. I will catch you next week for that video. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you are really enjoying the bra sewing series, and I will see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye.